As a Christian female in the fitness industry, I've seen so many women frustrated as they search for transformation through diets and exercise alone. And what I've realized is that God's Word, the most important part of this life for a Christian, seems to be the portion that's always missing from what we're being taught about being fit and healthy. Courageous Fit Female is a podcast for women who love Jesus and want to get fit and healthy His way. Want to seek His truth versus what the world says? Then let's get into today's show. Hey ladies, it's Jaclyn again, and welcome back to the Lowering the Bar series. This is the third part of this mini-series. If you haven't listened to part 1 and part 2 of this mini-series, then I would suggest that you stop and you go back to part 1 and part 2 because it's super important. It's going to make more sense as you listen to what I am telling you in this episode. And basically in this episode, I'm going to give you some miscellaneous tips to help you to be more successful as you use this failsafe formula to help you reach your goals. We know that part 1 was all about starting small. Part 2 was all about, I'm telling you, don't skip a day. And this third part, I'm really giving you miscellaneous tips that doesn't really fit into one specific category because there's just a list of bullets that I want to go over to help you with this fail-safe formula. So the first tip is, as you're doing this action step or this goal, trying to reach towards your goal, you're starting small, you're not skipping a day. The first thing I want you to know is I want you to give yourself a rest and recovery day, okay? This is especially important if what you are doing is making you feel exhausted, because I don't know what your goals are. And sometimes we don't start small. We actually feel like we can go bigger. And sometimes for some of us, we start small for like maybe 2 or 3 days, and then we start to add on more already. But that's probably why you're feeling super exhausted. But if you do feel exhausted, I encourage you to take a rest and recovery day. So if you're supposed to just be laying out your gear, and you're not just laying out your gear, but you're actually going out for a 30-minute walk, and you're doing it every single day, then no wonder why you are feeling exhausted, right? So that's why I want you to give yourself a rest and recovery day. Take 1 day off and reset yourself. Again, start small. Just lay out your gear. The second tip is I want you to do this small new activity habit thing for 2 weeks, okay? So laying out your clothes every single night for 2 weeks in a row. Do not put your shoes on yet. Do not go outside walking. Just lay out your gear for 2 entire weeks in a row. Get those X's on your calendar. You should have X's on your calendar for 2 straight weeks with nothing missing in between, no empty boxes, okay? Because you want to do this every single day to build the habit of just laying out your gear. So that's the second tip. So it's to do this habit, do this activity for 2 straight weeks before you add something on. Tip number 3 is to learn to care about the process to get to your goal. It's super crucial to learn how to care about it, because if you don't care about it, or rather if you only care about the outcome, right, of losing weight or being able to eat a whole salad in one sitting, if you only care about that final outcome, then you're just fooling yourself, because it's basically the same thing as looking at someone's highlight reel, right? You go to Facebook, you go to Instagram, you look at someone's before and after pic. Guess what? There's a process that happened between that before and that after pic. And those people actually had to learn how to love and enjoy and care that there's a process happening. It's not just, I want to lose 30 pounds and then, oh, here's my before and after pic. No, there's a process that happens. So when you learn to embrace, to care, to enjoy all those little things that come in between the before and after pic, it's going to be more enjoyable for you, okay? Another example of learning to enjoy and learning to care and learning to love the process is maybe your activity is to go running because your goal is to lose weight, but you hate running, right? Like for me personally, I hate running. I really don't enjoy running. I don't enjoy the process of it, but I can learn to enjoy the process. And that looks like, maybe it looks like focusing and being more in tune with my auditory senses. I can hear the birds. I can hear people passing by. I can hear cars. Or maybe I just go with my husband. I go with a friend and I go on this light jog and have a very light conversation, or just enjoy being with someone shoulder to shoulder. Maybe it's just enjoying feeling the wind or running in the rain. I don't know, whatever it is. But if you're running to lose weight, but you hate the process of it, you're going to stop. You're going to have resistance. You're going to feel discouraged. You're going to feel disappointed, right? Because you don't have the end goal yet. And the goal is not to get to the end goal. That's what it means by it's a journey and not a destination. So the third tip is to learn to love the process. And the fourth and final tip for lowering the bar is just for you to know and acknowledge that pain is negative feedback. Nobody likes pain, right? So I encourage you to only do what is enjoyable. If someone tells you that running is the answer to lose weight, but it's so unenjoyable for you, guess what? You're not going to do it. Like for me personally, I can do all the things to try to enjoy the process of running, but I don't enjoy running. I truly do not enjoy running. Even if someone were to pay me $1,000 to go run a 5K, that's how much I don't enjoy running. So only do what's enjoyable, because pain is negative feedback. Nobody likes pain. And that saying of no pain, no gain is only for those who enjoy pain. Okay. So that no pain, no gain, instead of NO for no, change it to KNOW, no pain, no gain. Because when you know there's pain, you know that you can walk towards gain, because you can acknowledge that pain is a negative feedback and you don't want pain and you want to avoid pain. And instead, let's walk toward what is more pleasurable, something that is more enjoyable for us to do. So those are your 4 miscellaneous tips for this Lowering the Bar series. And this actually wraps up the mini series. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to recap the first 2 tips, and that is number 1, to start small. Remember, when you are having a hard time doing anything, whether it's losing weight, trying to eat more vegetables, trying to develop a habit of going walking every morning, this is the fail-safe formula to get you to reach your goal. Okay. Number 1, start small, reset the bar, set it super low. Again, this quote that I shared in that episode was, the harder you push from the start, the harder it will be to stay on track. So anything that is not going to give you friction, remove all barriers. Anything that's going to discourage you, don't do anything that is ambitious. Think micro step, no stress, no pain. That's the first part of the formula, is to start small. And then the second thing to do is to don't skip a day, right? Instead of thinking be consistent, we want to think don't skip a day. Make sure you download that blank it's a 31-day calendar. Schedule a set time. Choose a time that works for you. If you skip a day, don't feel bad. Just evaluate and adjust. Set reminders. If it's email best for you or text best for you, decide what that is. Set your reminders up. You want to do this activity every single day. That way it becomes automatic. It's well ingrained after at least 30 days. There's no willpower required. There's no constant struggle because it's super easy. And that is how you don't skip a day. That is how you become consistent, but it requires planning. I hope you guys really enjoyed this Lowering the Bar series. And this fail-safe formula is truly a mini formula that will work for you when you decide to take those steps. So start small, don't skip a day, and follow the other tips that I gave you on this episode. Download that 30-day calendar. And if you have any questions, send me a voicemail on my website, courageousfitfemale.com. On the right-hand side, you will see a gray button that says send voicemail. Or if you know that you're ready for coaching and you want to figure out how to get through your frustrations and how to get over your pain points and having a solution for that and creating one together, then email me, Jaclyn at courageousfitfemale.com, before the books get filled up, before things start to feel stressful. Let's get you going. And until then, ladies, for his honor and for his glory, stay courageous and stay fit.